off the field last time the teams met at Ashton Gate and problems on it last night. A late tackle from Rovers player-manager Ian Holloway sparked the incident. Joe Jordan immediately came to the touchline to complain, and as referee Clive Wilkes admonished Holloway, out of shot there was a heated exchange between Jordan and Twentyman. Police later confirmed the two had been given verbal warnings, but said no further action would be taken. Back with the football, the home side came closest to breaking the first half deadlock. Gary Hours, the unlucky player, as his low drive rattled against a post. At the other end, Rovers' best moment came when summer signing Steve Parmenter lobbed a shot just over the top. But it was City new boy Shaun Goater who stole the show, coming on as a sub to net the winner 9 minutes from time. The £175,000 striker instantly endearing himself to the City crowd. Martin Cool stepped forward for the presentation as City lifted the cup for the first time in 4 years. And just enough time now for both camps to cool down before the league season kicks off in 10 days' time.
The goal from Baker. Nelson's in pursuit. Gary Nelson with a chance now. Can he get past the goalkeeper? Well, he's brought down. That's got to be a penalty. And what's the situation going to be as far as Stuart Naylor is concerned? I would have thought Mr. Fletcher would have no option to show him the red card. No doubt that Gary Nelson was pulled down having gone past the goalkeeper. Nelson perhaps trying to intervene. I must confess that I find that a difficult decision to understand. Baker then with the chance to put Torquay in front, and he does. Slotted into the bottom corner. Cool as you like. And with just a couple of minutes to go before half-time, Torquay United take the lead. Bristol City getting the second half underway. Trailing by that solitary goal from Paul Baker just before half-time from the penalty spot. I suppose they possibly wouldn't be too disappointed if they managed to keep it to just 1-0, the return at Ashton Gate. Nelson getting the ball in towards Baker with a header! And Paul Baker makes it 2 to Torquay. Well, that goal coming less than 30 seconds on the clock in the second half. And what a start to the second period for Torquay United. Gary Nelson getting away down the left-hand side. Inch-perfect cross from him. And Paul Baker's downward header giving Stuart Naylor no chance at all. Ooh. Looking to get the cross in towards Goater. Headed away by Gittings. And his father was Barnard. Come for Nugent. Thought about the shot and thought better of it. This is Bent. Support from Hours. City with plenty of players forward. Aimed in towards Goater. Goater with a shot. Well, that's 2-1. Well, Ray Newland is incensed that Goater was given enough time to bring the ball down and plant it past him. Good sustained pressure from City. Built it up well. Goater bringing the ball down, really thumping it past Ray Newland. Torquay beginning to show signs of urgency to restore their 2-goal advantage. Nelson certainly been instrumental in those 2 goals, but not able to create anything this time. Oh, wait. Ball back from McCall. Jack. Likes it from this range, good effort, and that will come for Baker, who completes a hat-trick. He'll get the plaudits, but really the congratulations belong, in part at least, to Rodney Jack. He scored from that sort of distance on Saturday, created more mayhem this time, getting in a low shot. Stuart Naylor couldn't hold. Paul Baker was there to tuck the ball into the net and say thank you very much. With the cross, Agostino right in on the action. Would have been a bad start, would it? Often do we see substitutes come on and score with their first touch. Agostino came pretty close on that occasion. Cross in from Barnard. Getting above the defence and causing a problem or two. Chip towards the near post this time. Barnard will get a second go at getting the cross in. Driven in a little more firmly. It comes for Edwards, and it will be turned in by Agostino. Well, Torquay just failing to get the ball away. Just not able to cope with the pressure really in the end. Barnard getting the cross in. Partridge was in there. I think it was Rob Edwards' shot initially was saved by Ray Newland, but the ball bouncing for Agostino. He made no mistake. And doing well to ride the challenge. Now Goater with a chance, looking for a 1-2 with Agostino. Gittings giving the ball away and turned in by Scott Partridge. And Bristol City's recovery is complete. Well, Torquay really very much the architects of their own downfall then. They're just trying to blot out the threat of Goater. Gittings coming across, giving the ball away. And Scott Partridge becoming the second Bristol City substitute to score tonight.
First impressions count. City's new boy certainly made his mark, and unlike the home fans, he'd seen it all before.
Well, to be honest, it was a dream because I had a dream about the game, but I didn't have the dream about scoring. I had the dream doing the things I know I can do and helping the team to win. But unfortunately, I came out with the one on top, scoring the 2 goals.
The first of those arrived after only 11 minutes at the end of a simple but effective build-up. Luton's keeper parried the first effort, but a left-foot strike followed by a celebration somersault, and Goodrich announced his arrival in style. Shaun Goater also produced a highly impressive display. His link-up with Kevin Nugent paved the way for goal number 2. City were hitting all the right notes, and so too were their fans. A minute after the restart, Goater got the goal his hard work deserved. Brian Tinian, the provider, and a perfect finish from the summer signing. More delight for the City fans, but even Goater couldn't keep Goodrich out of the limelight. The winger's second goal and City's fourth again had a touch of class about it. A neat shimmy, a powerful shot into the far corner, and poor Luton Town were on the slide. Their gloom deepened even further when midfielder Tony Thorpe was sent off after appearing to throw a punch at City's Darren Barnard. And as on loan defender Jason Cundy made it 5, Ashton Gate reached fever pitch, but man of the match Goodrich was staying calm.
At the moment I'm just taking one game at a time. I'm just going home, get my feet up, get ready for Thursday, another day of training, and get ready for Bury on Saturday.
And the bad news for Bury is that he'll be fully refreshed after coming off to a standing ovation 20 minutes from time. City and their fans were expecting to breeze past the team that finished 92nd in the league last term. They were in for a bit of a shock. True, the home side monopolised most of the play and had the clearest chances, but converting possession into goals was proving difficult. Kevin Nugent wasn't afraid to try his luck from distance, but there was no reward for the striker as the ball crashed against the woodwork. City had scored 5 last time out at Ashton Gate, but a thumping 4-0 defeat on Saturday had the players struggling to explain their early season inconsistency.
You can't really, you go out there the same attitude and the same application every week, but unfortunately it didn't come off for us at Bury.
And for more than an hour it looked as though things might not work out against Torquay. Lewis Carey, another, just missing out. But then Darren Barnard started and finished the move which gave City a 68th minute lead. Speed of thought and no little skill required to score goals like this. A moment to savour and well worth sitting down to enjoy it with a few friends.
It was just a matter of time really. We had all the pressure. I think they had maybe 2 shots on target in the whole game. And it was only a matter of time really. It was a lucky strike really. I took John Gittins on just before that and I showed him on the left and he took the ball from me. So this time I went inside into my right foot and just hit it and it just went in the top corner.
A second goal would have brought City breathing space. Perhaps they should have tried Rover's trick of raising the crossbar by a few inches. But when new hero Greg Goodrich failed to work the oracle, Joe Jordan's men knew that they'd have to settle for 1-0 on the night and a 4-3 victory on aggregate.
The major Sheffield, the result was the most important thing in the game. Obviously Torquay have done quite well this season, but at the moment we're in the next round, so that's what counts.
Any preference as to who you play next time out?
I'm not fussed. Liverpool, Man United, anyone like that.
Right, sunshine at Ashton Gate. Preston in their familiar white shirts. City, of course, in red. Head tennis on the far side. Out of play or throw in to the home side. And in charge of today's game, referee Ken Leach, who comes from Wolverhampton. Clearance from Davey, who's gone straight up in the air though. Tinian on the volley. Oh, it was a lovely try. It would have been something special if it flashed into the top corner. Touched on by Kilbane. Savills after this one. Edwards just checks the progress. Barrick's cross, headed clear by Cundy. Preston's best spell so far, back in towards Saville, might drop for Wilkinson. Well, he didn't quite get hold of it, and lucky for City that he didn't. Agostino's chest down, Nugent first time. Not a bad try at all from the striker. Mims seemed confident it was going wide of the mark. Agostino wins the second header, cleared by Barrick. Only as far as Carey. Goodrich still hugging this right-hand touchline. Carey's gone for the return. Good cross and well defended. Second header came from Kilbane. Still it's not clear. Preston all at sea for a moment, finally sorting themselves out. Moyes has given it away rather carelessly to Tinian. Quite make them pay, but it is a corner kick for City. Good spell of pressure this for the home side. Cool will take the kick. 6 men to aim for. Nugent's on the near post. Everyone's missed it. Kevin Nugent hasn't, and Bristol City have the lead. 16 minutes gone into the game, and Kevin Nugent bags his second goal of the season. Extraordinary goal in many ways. Nugent went up for the near post header with a defender. Neither player seemed to know where the ball was. And when it dropped, Nugent was the first to react. He buried his shot past Bobby Mims. Very little the goalkeeper could do about that. He probably didn't have a very clear view of it. Nugent gives Bristol City the lead. Hooked inside. Agostino took it nicely on the chest. Trying to link up with Nugent again. Agostino might be in here. Nugent with a header. Cleared off the line. Tremendous piece of defending. John Kay on the far side, saving a certain goal. Lovely build-up play again. Agostino unselfishly playing in Nugent, the fullback in exactly the right position to clear. One has played in low, easy clearance. Carey will pick it up for City. A bit short for Tinian. He might get another chance here. That's a better ball. Nugent the target. Goodrich. Well, he went for the spectacular. Who can blame him after that memorable debut goal he scored here? It's wide for Tinian. Cool just got a foot in, but couldn't control the pass. Agostino trying to turn Wilcox. Fancy his luck from here. Paul Agostino, well, he scored some spectacular goals in his time for Bristol City, the Australian. You could tell what was going through his mind there. Always heading towards goal, shot always drifting wide. Tinian first time for Nugent, onside, back for Tinian, tries the chip. Well, the idea was right, the execution just slightly awry. Lovely football again from the home team. Nugent, who initially beat the offside trap, he fed Tinian, who'd spotted Mims off his line, and just couldn't get the ball underneath the crossbar. Clever turn out of trouble by Lewis Carey. Looks down the line for Goodrich. Barrick having to backtrack. That's a bit short. Mims did well to make it ahead of Agostino. Alarming moment at the back of the defence for Preston there. It was all of their own making. Back pass a fraction short. Mims had to make the ball, otherwise City were 2 up. Half-time, important Bristol City hold out. They do, because there goes the whistle. Kevin Nugent, who gave the home side a 16th minute lead, and the same striker could well have made it 2, but for a timely goal line clearance by John Kay. At half-time, mission accomplished for the home side. It's Bristol City 1, Preston 0. Join us again after the break. So welcome back as visitors Preston kick off the second half. Bit of work to do to make up the deficit. Kevin Nugent's goal dividing the teams, and if Bristol City hang on to that, then they'll go above Preston in the table. Early cross is cleared by Darren Barnard, and a half-time substitution for Preston. Number 12 Ryan Kidd is on, replacing number 5 Russ Wilcox. He's up in the box as the corner comes in. Davies' shot is blocked. Kilbane drives it back in against the post and in. And Preston have equalised within 60 seconds of the second half. Delight for the fans behind that goal. City never really cleared the corner. It fell eventually to Kilbane. His low drive cannoned in off the foot of a post. Nothing at all Stuart Naylor could do about it, and that's made the score 1-1 with the best part of 45 minutes still to go. Here's Goodrich for City. He can make things happen. Just crowded out. Cool again, short for Goodrich. First time shot by him. Mims was there. In truth, a fairly routine save for the goalkeeper. Needed something special to beat him from that distance. With Greg Goodrich. Good effort. And a fine save by Mims. Not too much sure how much he saw of that, Bobby Mims. Seemed to go down very late, one-handed to his left, just pushed the ball round a post for a corner. Skipper Simon Davey with the throw. Flick on at the near post. Edwards tries to get it away. Goodrich completes the job. Kilbane in for Wilkinson, and good tip over by the keeper. Stuart Naylor having to sort his feet out quickly to backpedal, just flip that over the bar to prevent Steve Wilkinson making it 8 for the season. McDonald to take. Kilbane can put it back into the danger area. Cleared by Carey. Only Goodrich upfield. He's doing well enough on his own. Mims' clearance is charged down. Tinian with an open goal, but the whistle has gone. And it won't count even though the ball is nestling in the bottom corner. Presumably handball as Mims' clearance was charged down. Lovely finish by Tinian all the same. Goodrich has found good space. Into Seal, lovely play by David Seal, real chance and a poor finish. Well, credit to Bobby Mims for making himself as big as possible as the striker bore down on him. Really, David Seal should have made it 2-1 to Bristol City, and he knows it. Poole looks for somebody wide right. Carey provides that option. Now ours. Bristol City just trying to pick up the pace in this last 15 minutes or so. See if they can snatch a winner. Clearance again only as far as ours. Might fall for Seal. Stopped by Mims. The rebound in from Nugent. Preston are looking for a flag, but the goal counts and Bristol City lead 2-1. Well, the first chance fell to David Seal. It was well stopped by Bobby Mims, but no chance at all for the keeper as it ricocheted back past him from Nugent. The striker's second goal of the game, but for one cleared off the line. It could have been a hat-trick, but no matter, it's good enough to give Bristol City the lead. We're now into 5 minutes of stoppage time. Finally, referee Ken Leach blows his whistle, signals the end of a game and 3 points for Bristol City. They've won the game thanks to 2 goals by striker Kevin Nugent, 1 in the first half, 1 in the second, and there goes the City goal scorer. Preston got back into it for a moment, a goal early in the second half by Kevin Kilbane, but it wasn't enough. The final score here at Ashton Gate, Bristol City 2, Preston 1. The trip north to bottom of the table, Rotherham United. He responded by dropping club captain Martin Cool. Rob Edwards also stepped down to the bench, with Matt Hewlett and Greg Goodrich coming into the side, and Gary Owers was named captain for the day. This report from our man in Yorkshire, John Shires.
City hadn't won away from home this season, and the omens for a change in fortune didn't look good early on at Millwall as Rotherham took control in the first half. They came close to opening the scoring when Darren Barnard was ruled to have impeded Andy Hayward, and the resulting free kick created chaos in the City defence. 2 attempts to clear their lines failed, and Hayward's volley was only just off target. From another free kick, the Millers, belying their lowly position at the foot of the table, came even closer. Darren Garner's effort striking the outside of Stuart Naylor's post. Naylor was by far the busiest of the 2 goalkeepers, and he saved the day himself when another attempted clearance ricocheted past a static defence and into Gary Bowyer's path. Naylor reacted with a brilliant one-handed stop. But he was left with no chance 3 minutes into the second half. Bowyer provided the cross and Trevor Berry dived to head in off the underside of the bar. Referee Mr. Laws certain the ball had crossed the line for what was only Rotherham's 5th goal of the season so far. The referee was also the central figure in the incident that led to the Millers doubling their lead 7 minutes later. Naylor's challenge on Mark Munnington deemed worthy of a hotly disputed penalty. Neil Richardson had no problem in converting. It was the immediate introduction of substitute Paul Agostino that sparked City's revival. His goal-bound header was blocked on the line by Paul Hurst. And in the 65th minute, it was his direct approach that created the opportunity for Gary Owers to send a crashing drive past the startled Steve Cherry. Owers' first goal of the season came in the 65th minute. 10 minutes from time, he scored his second. It came from another corner, from Taylor's towering header and a deft flick on by Shaun Goater, who was back at Millwall for the first time since his £175,000 summer transfer from Rotherham. It was enough to salvage a point and will also probably prompt the season's next managerial casualties. Archie Gemmill and John McGovern look likely to be sacked by the Rotherham board on Monday. Hayward did his best to save their jobs late on, but although his neat turn took him past the Bristol defence, his shot was well saved by Naylor. And it was City who almost had the final word. Agostino's instinctive near-post volley flashed just wide. It finished Rotherham United 2, Bristol City 2.
The trip north to bottom of the table, Rotherham United. He responded by dropping club captain Martin Cool. Rob Edwards also stepped down to the bench, with Matt Hewlett and Greg Goodrich coming into the side, and Gary Owers was named captain for the day. This report from our man in Yorkshire, John Shires.
City hadn't won away from home this season, and the omens for a change in fortune didn't look good early on at Millwall as Rotherham took control in the first half. They came close to opening the scoring when Darren Barnard was ruled to have impeded Andy Hayward, and the resulting free kick created chaos in the City defence. Two attempts to clear their lines failed, and Hayward's volley was only just off target. From another free kick, the Millers, belying their lowly position at the foot of the table, came even closer. Darren Garner's effort striking the outside of Stuart Naylor's post. Naylor was by far the busiest of the two goalkeepers, and he saved the day himself when another attempted clearance ricocheted past a static defence and into Gary Bowyer's path. Naylor reacted with a brilliant one-handed stop. But he was left with no chance 3 minutes into the second half. Bowyer provided the cross and Trevor Berry dived to head in off the underside of the bar. Referee Mr. Laws certain the ball had crossed the line for what was only Rotherham's fifth goal of the season so far. The referee was also the central figure in the incident that led to the Millers doubling their lead 7 minutes later. Naylor's challenge on Mark Munnington deemed worthy of a hotly disputed penalty. Neil Richardson had no problem in converting. It was the immediate introduction of substitute Paul Agostino that sparked City's revival. His goal-bound header was blocked on the line by Paul Hurst. And in the 65th minute, it was his direct approach that created the opportunity for Gary Owers to send a crashing drive past the startled Steve Cherry. Owers' first goal of the season came in the 65th minute. 10 minutes from time, he scored his second. It came from another corner, from Taylor's towering header and a deft flick on by Shaun Goater, who was back at Millwall for the first time since his £175,000 summer transfer from Rotherham. It was enough to salvage a point and will also probably prompt the season's next managerial casualties. Archie Gemmill and John McGovern look likely to be sacked by the Rotherham board on Monday. Hayward did his best to save their jobs late on, but although his neat turn took him past the Bristol defence, his shot was well saved by Naylor. And it was City who almost had the final word. Agostino's instinctive near-post volley flashed just wide. It finished Rotherham United 2, Bristol City 2.
Bristol City attacking the Carling Attio end, who get the game underway.
Walsall sporting a very natty change strip of green and white checks. City, of course, in their usual red tops. Darren Barnard in sharply. 1-2 with Goater. Didn't quite work out for him. So Hewlett's in there battling to get possession back. Breaks for Gary Hours. Again for Hewlett. Forward by Barnard, looking for the run of Brian Tinian. Linesman's flag was up. And the referee hasn't had too far to come today. It's Bob Harris, who comes from Oxford. Now here come Walsall with Wilson. Lightbourne's available on the left. Edwards with him, and a foul by the City man gives Walsall a free kick in a dangerous position. It's either going to be Blake or Lightbourne. It's Lightbourne, and it's in, and Walsall have the lead. 15 minutes on the clock, and Kyle Lightbourne, who was fouled for the free kick, exacts the ultimate penalty by slamming the dead ball into the corner of the net. Vivash has lost out to Goodrich. Chance for City to hit back straight away. And Greg Goodrich has dragged it wide. A golden opportunity for the young winger. Clean through on goal after Vivash's mistake. Beat the keeper, but also beat the post. And here's Lightbourne leading the charge for Walsall. Player coach Kevin Wilson, first time ball forward. Barnard should be in control for City. Carey again feeds Goodrich. Chance for him to run at Chris Marsh. On first time instead for Hours. Good pullback, Shaun Goater. And Shaun Goater has made it 1-1 with a quite delightful side foot finish. Made it look ridiculously easy. It wasn't the simplest of goals. Seemed to bounce up at an awkward height for the striker. He managed to sort himself out and calmly plant it past the keeper. Rob Edwards, he's man of the match in midweek. Sweeps it on for Carey. Hewlett, encouraged to have a go by the crowd, instead works it through Agostino, and now Goater, good save. Well, the City crowd were just a bit anxious. Their team were over-elaborating for a moment. They managed to bide their time. When Goater saw the chance of the shot, he hit it well, and a fine save by Walker. Carries ball in, Goater's there behind Vivash, good save again by the keeper. Well, Shaun Goater could have had a hat-trick already. The cross just eluding the Walsall defender. Nice chest control, hit the target. James Walker was there. Tinian curls one in for Goater. Left foot, and Shaun Goater makes it two. Superb finish this time. Denied a couple of times by the keeper. Persistence paying off in the end with a lovely left foot finish into the corner. Nothing at all James Walker could do this time. And just about on the stroke of half-time, Bristol City are in front. Carey to Hewlett on first time for Goater. Nice touch again by him. Here's Tinian. Good save. Keeper looks as though he's turned awkwardly on his ankle. Well, sweeping play by Bristol City. A fiery shot from Tinian. A good save by the goalkeeper, but at what cost? Howard swings it in. Tamark there for Walsall. First time by Wilson. Lightbourne away through the middle. Carey's trying to get to him. So too is Taylor. Lightbourne. Good save. Now Wilson. Still the danger not over for Bristol City. Blake charged down. Bradley hooks it back in. Carey's header. Finally, Ours will get the ball away. Real danger there for City. Just opened up at the heart of the defence. Lightbourne eventually denied by a good save from Stuart Naylor. Tamark's away on the overlap for Walsall. Tinian was there right with him. Tracking back by the City man. More work to be done yet. Ball comes in towards Butler. Well, a free header for the Walsall number 5, and he thinks he should have buried it. I have to agree with him. Having got in behind the Bristol City defence, certainly needs to hit the target from there. Darren Barnard again looking for the ever-willing Agostino. Support from Tinian. Goater makes his way into the middle, so too Goodridge. And Hewlett off the post. Hewlett again. The keeper's stranded, and Matt Hewlett makes it 3-1 to Bristol City. Delight for him and the supporters. You have to feel a little bit sorry for goalkeeper James Walker. He was well beaten by the first shot. When the rebound came out, the keeper really was struggling as Hewlett put it back past him. City won't mind about that. Hewlett's first goal of the season, and it's 3-1. Wilson, good interchange. Chance for Watson. Naylor, good save. City perhaps guilty of a bit of complacency at the back. A very swift interchange of passes. Watson was free on goal. Naylor doing his job well. Ivash climbs to make the header. Back in by Butler. Time clearance leaves Greg Goodridge in the clear. Chance to make it 4. Goodridge finishes in style. There goes the familiar salute. And what a way to finish your afternoon's work. The ultimate counter-attack from Bristol City. One ball forward, releasing Goodridge. And what about that for a cool finish? It's his third goal since moving to Ashton Gate. City's 4th of the afternoon, and that makes 3 points absolutely safe. There goes the final whistle blown by referee Harris. Brings to the end a wonderful performance by Bristol City. Shaun Goater set them in motion. 2 goals for him after Kyle Lightbourne had put Walsall into the lead. City made absolutely safe in the second half. Matt Hewlett with the 3rd goal, and then just a few seconds from time it was winger Greg Goodrich who completed the rout. Final score here at Ashton Gate: Bristol City 4, Walsall 1.
It's been a long wait for an away league win for City's travelling supporters, but after a thumping home win over Walsall and an encouraging Coca-Cola Cup display at Bolton, they hit the road back to Lancashire with spirits high. And there were just 12 minutes gone when Shaun Goater gave another indication that he's a bargain buy at £175,000. Watch how Joe Jordan's summer signing made space out of nothing to score his 6th goal of the season. Next it was Goater turning provider for Greg Goodrich, whose shot brought a smart save from Marlon Beresford. But there was a shock for City just before the break as Nigel Gleghorn headed the equaliser. Jordan's men continued to prove vulnerable at set pieces, and again the marking was slack. Burnley might even have snatched the lead before the interval, as their own prolific marksman Kurt Nogan was just off target. In fact, the home side did go in front in the second half after Stuart Naylor had failed to get enough distance on his clearance. Paul Weller strode through to be denied by a post, but the reprieve proved momentary. When the ball was crossed back in, Weller was still in yards of space, and this time the finish was clinical. Again, City's defenders were caught ball watching, as Weller gave Naylor no chance. Martin Cool, sent on as a substitute for Goodrich, began a move which almost brought City an equaliser. Paul Agostino was crowded out before Goater's shot brought a deflection and a fine save. Afterwards, Jordan praised the character of his team for weathering a second-half storm and bouncing back with a spirited effort. Gary Owers and Brian Tinian helped create the space for Darren Barnard to produce a pinpoint cross, and Goater did the rest. That's 4 goals in the last 2 league games for City's new marksman. It was the other Shaun who settled the result, as Sean Taylor chose the perfect moment to net his first goal in City colours. The former Swindon player promised goals from corners when he arrived at Ashton Gate. This could be the first of many. City sent on a second substitute as Kevin Nugent took over from Agostino, and almost grabbed a 4th goal after some patient approach play near the end. Matt Hewlett is showing an increasing tendency to move forward into scoring positions from midfield, and from Nugent's knockdown it took Beresford's hand and a goal line clearance from Chris Finicum to deny him. When Naylor comfortably fielded a last gasp header from Mark Winstanley, City could celebrate their first away success in the league since April. That made the 3 points all the sweeter for manager Jordan and the travelling faithful, as it finished Burnley 2, Bristol City 3.
Chesterfield were in 4th place going into the game. Bristol City 6 points behind them in 11th. But the home side hardly looked like promotion candidates as they gifted City the first chance of the game. A dreadful mistake by Sean Dyche, allowing Lewis Carey's ball through to Gary Owers, and the replay shows Owers really should have done better. Chesterfield's opening salvo came from a free kick. Steve Gorm's effort clearing Stuart Naylor's bar was something to spare. But on 22 minutes, Chesterfield went ahead. There seemed to be little danger as the ball was pumped high towards the edge of the box. But Tony Lormer got the better of Sean Taylor and rifled in an unstoppable shot past Naylor. It was the striker's second goal in the week, though perhaps the replay shows that he may have used his arm illegally to get the better of the defender. City hit back and Shaun Goater looked to have brought them level when he nipped in behind the home defence, only to see his effort cleared off the line by Dyche. Chesterfield keeper Andy Leaning also got an important touch to allow Dykes the time to get back. The half ended with City on top, a succession of crosses into the box. When it's finally delivered back into the danger area, Taylor's header skims just wide. Into the second half, it began like the first. Another bad mistake by Deitch, and goalkeeper Leaning is forced to spare the defender's blushes. It's Matt Hewlett's shot bringing a fine one-handed save. The keeper just managed to grab the ball ahead of Goater. Goater also had a reasonable chance with his head, but his effort lacked the power to trouble the keeper. Midway through the half, Chesterfield enjoyed a period of some supremacy. It's Chris Beaumont escaping down the right. He cuts inside, but his curling shot easily claimed by Naylor. So far, Chesterfield have only dropped 3 points at Saltergate, and they look to be heading towards victory when more pressure set up a chance for Gorn. But his shot flew well wide. The closing stages of the game were clouded in some controversy. First, City had a goal disallowed. Referee Mr. Wolstenholme ruling that Goater impeded his man before substitute Kevin Nugent fired home. The offence alleged to have taken place there, but the replay is inconclusive. Goater had a chance to make amends soon after, but his first touch let him down and allowed Leaning enough time to smother the shot. And that's the way it looked like finishing until injury time. A corner on the left, Nugent's header, and Owers bundles the ball over the line. It's his 4th goal of the season, though the replay seems to indicate that he used his hand. Make of that what you will. But the referee was perfectly happy. He waved away process and allowed the goal to stand. In fact, in the closing seconds, City might have snatched it. Again, it's Goater setting up the position, and again, Nugent plays a major part. His ball perfectly laid back from Matt Hewlett, but his effort flew just over the bar. Nevertheless, a profitable journey up north for City and their travelling support. Final score: Chesterfield 1, Bristol City 1.
Expected, Bristol City make 2 changes from the side which grabbed a last-gasp equaliser at Chesterfield a week ago. Greg Goodridge and Kevin Nugent return. The unlucky men to step down to the bench are Paul Agostino and Martin Cool. 2 home games in the space of 5 days for City, and 6 points would do very nicely. York have never won in 11 attempts at Ashton Gate, and they haven't picked up 3 league points since August. But the Minster Men's Cup pedigree proves they're no pushover. Manchester United last season and Everton this term among their victims. 3 changes tonight, with Clark, Atkinson and Tuthill coming into the side following last Saturday's 2-1 home defeat by Watford. So it's York City who kick off the experimental Friday night football here at Ashton Gate. They're attacking the goal away to the left. Bristol City in familiar red and white, of course. And our referee tonight is Barry Knight, who comes from Orpington in Kent. Back now for Barnard. Not a good ball in by him, and Stevenson should clear. On by Hours for Nugent. Bright start by Bristol City. Nugent couldn't quite make it. A missed kick right across the face of goal, which Goodridge has latched onto. Chances now for City. Goodridge's cross turned in by Kevin Nugent, and Bristol City are ahead inside 2 minutes. And what about that for a start? Well, there were questions about whether Nugent or Agostino should start for Bristol City. Kevin Nugent got the nod. and how he's made it pay. His 4th goal of the season, in exactly the right place at the right time as Goodridge delivered, and it's 1-0 for Bristol City. Really do look fired up for this one. And that early goal, the perfect tonic. Now Tinian's in behind the York defence, only Goater's up, Tinian went alone. That wasn't far away from his first goal of the season. Really no other option for him but to shoot there, and it hasn't missed by much. Nugent's flick on for Goater, just slipped at the vital stage. Nugent able to flick it wide for Tinian. Deep cross by him, Hours comes to meet it. Clearance as far as Matt Hewlett. Perhaps a chance for him for the 1-2. Nugent now, shot blocked. Still York can't clear. Goodridge, not a good cross by him, but he may get a second bite. Again, it's a low ball, comes to Goater, brilliant save. Well, Shaun Goater wonders what he has to do to score. Perhaps fortunate the ball came through to him, but struck it well, and that's really good work by Tim Clark. Now help from Atkinson, 4 to aim at. Let's offer a City head for a York City corner. Now, interesting tactics these. York have got 1 man on the goal line, 6 coming in from the edge of the box. One of them is Tolson. His header firmly held by Naylor rather. It's the first real save the City keepers had to make, and in truth it wasn't too difficult. Goodridge has charged down the clearance now. Can he get away from McMillan? Greg Goodridge, defender got in a challenge, but it's just gone over the line. And just as they did in the first half, Bristol City make a sensational start to the second. Greg Goodridge seizing on a defensive error, outstripping the home defence and just doing enough for the ball to cross the line. It's his 5th goal of the season, and City lead 2-0. Barnard forward, but, well, it was looking for Nugent. There's a clash off the ball. Tinian and Murty right in front of the referee. The original clash was between Murty and Tinian. Those are the players the referee wants to speak to. It's a yellow card for Graham Murty. But it's a red card for Brian Tinian. He's been sent off for retaliation. And Bristol City are down to 10 men. Joe Jordan looks as though he's asked Kevin Nugent to drop just a little deeper, leaving Goater more or less on his own up front. Hopefully support arriving from midfield. Maybe Goater can go alone. Oh, just too high. Lovely turn by Goater. First time strike. Clark was struggling to get there and it just flashed over. Hewlett, first time in for Goater, took a knock late. Foul by Tuthill. Draws yet another card from referee Knight. Goodridge into the wall, and Nugent's shot was somehow saved. Point blank stuff from the goalkeeper, and York have scrambled it away. Another good chance for Bristol City as the free kick broke for Nugent. His first time shot instinctively saved by Tim Clark. Here's Stevenson. And Murty, maybe just opening up for a moment for him. Gets to the byline, pulls it back for Bull. And a good clearance on the goal line by Kevin Nugent. Right back helping out, saves Bristol City. just for a moment looked as though it was going to open up for Gary Bull. Only just ended the worst scoring drought of his career. Very nearly got York back into the game there. It was an overzealous challenge on Paul Agostino. It was right in front of the referee. It's a second yellow card, and Steve Tuthill becomes the second player sent off this evening. And there's really nothing more you can say about that. He already had one yellow, he dived in, got himself a second, and he had to go.
City last night, so they were looking to Paul Agostino to lead the way against struggling Wycombe, and the Australian striker did just that. Twice in the space of a minute he was denied by alert goalkeeping from former Bristol Rovers number 1 Brian Parkin. But it was third time lucky for Agostino after 18 minutes. Brian Tinian's inch-perfect cross, and this time the header hit the back of the net. A moment to savour for the home fans, and of course for the scorer himself.
I saw him going down to me. I just made sure I was in the box, ready to pounce anything. Fortunately enough, I got a good head on it. We're playing really good football at the moment. I mean, the atmosphere amongst the dressing room is high, and we're playing good football, and it shows on the pitch. So we're getting the points.
They weren't quite home at 1-0 though, and only a fine save from Stuart Naylor prevented Wycombe's Dave Farrell grabbing an equaliser. But most of the action was concentrated around Parkin's goal, with Agostino still the main danger. Into the second half, and Wycombe quite literally handed the game to City. First it was Terry Evans resorting to foul play to stop the lively Agostino making further progress. That earned the defender a yellow card and presented Darren Barnard with a chance to score. Great goals, red boots and strange celebrations, it's all part of the entertainment these days.
Darren does that in training a lot, and we practice the free kicks and he put it right in the top quarter, so we're delighted. He's been getting a bit of stick for the red boots, but if he keeps playing like that, he'll be alright. We're moving up the league well, we're on a good run, so hopefully we can keep it up.
Next to discover that a hands-on approach isn't always best was keeper Parkin. Red-faced after losing his bearings outside the penalty area, he was promptly red-carded by referee David Pugh. And the stand-in keeper hardly moved as Tinian curled in his first goal of the season. Though having been sent off himself a few days earlier, he felt some sympathy for the departed Parkin.
It's 2-0 and I think we're going to win the game anyway, and so I think sometimes referees should just use a little bit of common sense and leave him in goal, because I don't think he'd have saved it anyway. I just said I haven't scored a goal this season. I've been desperate to get a goal, so I just said to Darren, let me have it please, and then it went in the top corner, so I was delighted with it.
And the last thing Joe Jordan wanted to do was make changes, but his hand has been forced today with Brian Tinian starting a 3-match suspension, and his place goes to the experienced Martin Cool. There's plenty of firepower in reserve for City today, with strikers Kevin Nugent and David Seal among the substitutes. Beaten in the playoff final at Wembley in May, Notts County were expected to make another strong push for promotion this season, but just one win in the last 7 league games has seen them slide towards the foot of the table instead. County also have a player suspended in striker Sean Farrell, and in all there are 4 changes to the team, beaten 1-0 at Burnley last time out. So it's Bristol City who get the game underway. Shaun Goater quickly into the action. Notts County playing in a change strip of all yellow today, known as the Magpies, of course black and white their home strip. Here at Ashton Gate they're looking more like Canaries. City in the usual red and white, of course. Unable to make any progress there. Now Anthony Bates was running the line at this year's FA Cup final, but today he's the referee. Bristol City free kick for the challenge on Goater.
Notts County skipper Shaun Murphy, the guilty party. Agostino, Hours and Goater among those in advanced positions for City. Agostino gets there, Hours in for Hewlett. Well, the flag had stayed down, and a half chance for Bristol City there. Matt Hewlett in the rather unfamiliar role of coming in from the left-hand side of midfield. For a moment it looked like it might open up for him. Keeper Darren Ward was there for Notts County. Goater to Hewlett, on for Goodridge. Forced to come infield. That's left a space though for Carey. Tries a neat little 1-2, away from Barraclough. Carey with the cross, near post, Goater! And Bristol City have the lead, and a splendid goal it was too. Shaun Goater hasn't scored for 5 matches. Well, that's a lovely way to end a slight barren spell for City's top scorer. Lovely worked move. It was a combination between Goodridge and Carey, and finally the deadly finish from Shaun Goater. 8 for the season, 1-0 Bristol City. Battersby trying to get the better of Edwards, but no change out of the Welshman there. And here's an early touch for Plummer. Lays it forward for Agostino. Placed by Murphy. Nicely round him, and that's a clumsy challenge by the Notts County captain. Cool with the free kick. Everybody sleeping for a moment, and Murphy has to usher it behind under pressure from Taylor. Barnard hoping to swing one in with the left boot. 2 players on the near post, plenty more coming in behind. That's Hours with the flick on. Agostino's there, and Agostino makes it 2-0 to Bristol City. And what a super start for the home side. Well, it was a move straight off the training pitch, near post corner, flicked on, and beautifully finished by the Australian international striker. Paul Agostino out jumping the goalkeeper, and that's his 3rd goal of the season, and after only 17 minutes, City lead 2-0. Now Gary Jones trying for an instant reply. So never really got hold of the shot, and didn't look like adding to his goals tally for the season. Notts County understandably look a little shell-shocked at the moment. They really can't get their foot on the ball. Here goes Goater, score of the first, tries his luck again. Excellent save by Ward. And Bristol City are rampant at the moment. Well, only one thing on Goater's mind there. Struck the shot ever so well, and that's a fine low save by the Welsh under-21 keeper. Quick free kick, Goater's there, it's gone through the legs of the goalkeeper, and Notts County are having an absolute nightmare. Shaun Goater doesn't mind it, posing for photographers, and Bristol City can't do a thing wrong. Well, it wasn't the best goal he'll ever score, but Shaun Goater won't mind that. He'll count it as number 9, and Darren Ward won't be thankful for another sight of this replay. His defence were caught cold by the quick free kick, but very few excuses for the goalkeeper as that trickled through his legs to make it 3-0 Bristol City. Now Wilder, looking for the forward run of Battersby, in behind Taylor for a moment. The City man recovered well enough to prevent the cross coming over. More defensive duties now, as Kennedy prepares to swing over the corner. Again, it's under the keeper. Naylor got a punch on it. Jones on the half volley. Another shot flies in, away by Edwards. It was Barraclough's drive, and that was good defending. A good chance for Notts County. Ian Barraclough, the fullback, who swung the shot in, and it was his opposite number Darren Barnard for Bristol City on the line, who made the clearance. Hours doing well to shield it from Hunt. Plummer coming under pressure, just had his ankle tapped. Cool lofting one up towards Hours. Plummer with a shot which has taken a deflection and loops over the county bar for another corner. Taylor jumps highest. Goater, hat-trick for Shaun Goater. 4-0 to Bristol City, and it's turning into a rout. In fact, he's taking the pictures himself this time. There's nothing that Shaun Goater can't do. Now, once again, Notts County standing still in defence, and when the ball breaks to Goater from there, well, he's got to score, hasn't he? It's his first hat-trick in Bristol City colours, his 10th goal of the season, and you fancy he could yet get a few more today. Taylor comes to meet, hooks it forward for Goater. Now Ward thought about coming, then he went back. Goater lobs in, brilliant save. What a fine recovery by the Notts County keeper. He made the mistake initially by thinking he could get there, forced to backpedal, but finally produced a spectacular tip over to deny Goater his 4th goal of the game. And Edwards releases the City skipper with a nice ball. Tried to bend it round Graham Hogg, the big centre-back. Just got something on it at the expense of a City corner. Goodridge to take the corner. Header from Agostino off the line. Quite sure whether that was goalkeeper or defender who got the final touch. Good header by Agostino. Between them, it was Ward and Kennedy who got the ball away.
Division, and now 5 games without conceding a goal. Those are the impressive statistics which have taken City into 5th place after a worrying start to the campaign. At Bournemouth, Joe Jordan gave a surprise debut to Canadian Jim Brennan on the left of midfield in place of the injured Matt Hewlett, and again saw his side give a rock-solid display. Not too much to shout about early on, but Paul Agostino was denied by a goal line clearance from Owen Cole, later to become the villain of the piece as far as Bournemouth were concerned. Greg Goodridge was off target with the follow-up effort. Most of the action came in the last 13 minutes as Gary Hours came within an inch of putting City in front. When the ball dropped, Cole's reckless tackle on Shaun Goater produced a penalty. Not the sort of challenge to endear Cole to his teammates or manager, as Goater was heading away from goal. Darren Barnard was handed the responsibility for a vital spot kick and accepted it with relish. 2 minutes later, City wrapped up the points with a move which summed up their growing confidence. Rob Edwards eventually released Agostino, and the finish was emphatic. The Australian international is gaining in stature with each game, and his crisp strike made it a happy trip home for a large band of travelling supporters.
Close at the top of the table, Stockport in 10th place were just 2 points behind their visitors before the match. City included the former Manchester United player Clayton Blackmore in midfield. The 32-year-old Welsh international has joined the club on a month's loan from Middlesbrough. He replaced one-time skipper Martin Cool, who started a 2-match suspension. And that was the only change from the side which won at Bournemouth in midweek.
It was the banker draw on this week's coupon, a clash of the second division's in-form sides, and City wasted no time testing Stockport's credentials as Gary Hours had an early shot saved. An impressive start by Joe Jordan's team, defending their impressive record of not having conceded a goal in 5 games. Soon Paul Agostino was bringing another save from Stockport's Paul Jones. but it was the home side who came closest to snatching an early lead. Mike Flynn's through ball saw Sean Connolly denied by the woodwork. City lost top scorer Shaun Goater through injury in the first half, but Darren Barnard ensured there was no respite for Jones. When City took the lead just before the break, it was a sweet moment for new loan signing Clayton Blackmore. Not the best header of the Welsh international's career, but a vital one for his new club. Stockport claimed an element of handball, but Blackmore insisted the ball went in off his shoulder. City started the second half as they had done the first, and Barnard was beginning to find his range. From Greg Goodridge's corner, Sean Taylor brought the busy Jones into action yet again. Substitute David Seal was relishing a rare chance to remind City fans of his ability, and this move ended with Agostino heading just wide. At the other end, Stuart Naylor had to be on his toes to protect City's lead. The corner produced an even bigger scare as Naylor lost his bearings and Taylor produced a dramatic goal line clearance with the help of the crossbar. The equaliser Stockport had been threatening came just 7 minutes from time as Tom Bennett fired home from close range. At last an end to City's proud defensive record as Brett Angel created room to provide the telling cross. Scott Partridge also came off the bench to press for a City winner, and Blackmore's late effort left him well satisfied with his debut.
One conceded in the last 6 matches suggests City are now getting it right at the back. Taking on the leaders will test their resolve today, and Joe Jordan will be delighted to welcome back the experience of Brian Tinian at the end of a 3-match suspension. 10-goal top scorer Shaun Goater has passed a late fitness test on his injured knee. He scored a hat-trick on his last appearance here, but would probably settle for one today, especially if it's the winner. 12 months ago, Millwall went to the top of the First Division and stayed there for a month. But things quickly turned against them, and in May they slipped through the relegation trapdoor. New manager Jimmy Nichols hoping there won't be a repeat, with his team again leading the way in November. Millwall's Bristol-born keeper Tim Carter should have had no problems finding his way to the ground today. He started his career at Bristol Rovers, but did have a short spell on loan with City in the late 1980s. Visitors Millwall have an excellent record at Ashton Gate. They've only lost once here in their last 6 games. They'll be looking to extend that run today. The City, hoping to press their own promotion claims, will want to have 3 points for themselves. Tim Carter in action early on. Now here goes Goodridge. Only Goater and Agostino are ahead of him. Carey in support behind. Little 1-2 with Agostino. Goater waiting for the cross. Witter's header clear at the expense of a corner. Bristol City have 3 players around the near post. That's where Barnard's kick gone. The flick on, and it was Goodridge who actually took it off Sean Taylor's head. Millwall inadvertently helping the ball on, and a pity for City that it was Goodridge rather than Taylor who got the header on the far post. Bowery there ahead of ours, help from Newman. It's a poor ball by him. Blackmore for Bristol City. Check back to find Darren Barnard, who looked as though he was tripped. And City quickly get on with the free kick. Barnard again. Easy to spot, of course, with those red boots. Low cross for Goater. And now Blackmore! Well, he scored on his debut. He wasn't too far off from making it 2 in 2 games for Bristol City. It was just eased back into his path by Shaun Goater. Blackmore arriving at speed, gave it plenty of thump, but just couldn't quite hit the target. Control by Crawford. It's a lousy ball at the end of it. Now Tinian for Goater. Challenge was by Newman, claimed he got the ball. Referee saw it slightly differently and has awarded Bristol City the free kick. Millwall busy forming a defensive wall. Tinian, Barnard and Hours supervising the free kick, but now here's Blackmore, beaten away by Carter, and the first real tough test of the visiting keeper, and Tim Carter's equal to it. Sweetly struck shot by Blackmore. The goalkeeper away to his right just pushed it clear. Now here come Millwall on the break. It's the left back Harl leading the counter. Lovely 1-2. Here's Harl. Good save this time by Naylor. Dare with the rebound, and he's made rather a mess of that, much to the delight of Bristol City and their supporters. But the first warning for Bristol City that this Millwall side are very useful on the counter. It was a lovely little 1-2. It's the left back Mickey Harl with the shot, and Stuart Naylor doing well to keep that out. Agostino looking for his strike partner Goater, brought that down beautifully. Here's Tinian. Well, he was always leaning back, Brian Tinian, and under those circumstances the ball always likely to go over the top. But a lovely break again by City. Goater showing good awareness, Tinian unable to produce the goods at the end of it. Witter brings it clear as the half-time whistle goes. End of an entertaining, if not enthralling half. And at the end of the first 45 minutes, it's goalless here at Ashton Gate. Bristol City 0, Millwall 0, and we'll be back after the break. Agostino again wins a corner. Again, Agostino leaps high, but can't keep the ball down. Really does get up well. Suggestion from the Millwall defenders, he was taking a ride there. Here come Millwall, Crawford, nicely laid ball, switch this side for Hartley. Good break by Millwall, the ball right across the face of goal, and what a chance that was. Difficult one for Steve Crawford to try and control. He knew he had to hit it first time, and as he slid in, the ball, well, just fizzed off his foot miles over the crossbar. Bowery to Savage. Now it's Neal. Further ahead of him, Jason Dare. Trying to get round Carey. Chip to the far post. Hartley was there. Well, had he been a few inches taller, Paul Hartley could well have got himself on the score sheet. Seemed almost surprised the ball reached him in the end, and the header, well, always climbing over Stuart Naylor's crossbar. Savage took it down nicely. Hartley in field. Bowery's ball forward for Crawford. It's a good looking cross by him, well claimed Stuart Naylor. Plenty of bodies in front of him, but Naylor kept his eye firmly on the ball and plucked it out of the air before it could reach a Millwall forward. Hint of handball as Agostino brought it under control, but he's allowed to go on. Now it's Partridge. Only Goater upfield. Two Millwall defenders on the cover. Bright start from Scott Partridge. Hasn't had too many chances this season. Agostino turns nicely. Still Agostino. Near post, and only just a whisker wide. Tim Carter probably expecting the ball across him to the far post. Agostino instead went near side, and the ball just a few inches off target. Agostino, short for Hours. In for Goater, great challenge. It was Ricky Newman who just made things difficult for the City striker. Had Goater got a clean effort on goal there, you feel he would certainly have troubled Tim Carter. That really is good defending. Neil. A good return ball there to Crawford. Chance for Millwall, and the visitors have made it count. Steve Crawford gives Millwall the lead. We've just about had half an hour of the second half. Poor Stuart Naylor, he's hardly had anything to do in this 45 minutes at all. But he's got to now pluck the ball out the back of the net. Excellent link-up, Dare and Crawford. And what about that for a finish? It's his 6th goal of the season, and it could well keep Millwall on top of the league. They lead by a goal to nil. Seals off on the chase, brought to the ground by Witter. The assistant referee is flagging. It'll be interesting to see what the referee's interpretation of this is, because if David Seal was bearing down on goal and Tony Witter's the last defender, he could be in trouble, but referee Bain seems to be taking a very lenient view of it. It's a yellow card. Taking an eternity to sort out the free kick. Barnard takes it and scores brilliantly. It was well worth the wait in the end. Darren Barnard equalises for Bristol City. And the Ashton Gate has exploded. What a superb strike. The magical red boots of Darren Barnard, and the keeper had no chance at all. It's his 4th of the season. It's a precious one for Bristol City, and we could yet be in for an exciting final 10 minutes. Free kick for Millwall. Certainly City's biggest crowd of the season, and they're going to try and roar them on to victory in these closing stages. Crawford and Dare are among the targets. It's Crawford challenging for it. On the turn, it's Harl. Good save by Naylor, and he did very well to haul it back in. There were 2 Millwall players bearing down on him, and that's good work from Stuart Naylor, just stopping the ball squirming away from him. Millwall players funneling back. Now, they'd probably be quite happy to settle for a point at this stage. City still seeking all 3. Blackmore lines up a shot. It wasn't too far away. In fact, it must have taken a deflection off either defender or keeper. Well, Clayton Blackmore within inches of marking his home debut for City in style. Tinian with the corner. Agostino's there. Barnard puts it back into the middle. Heads go up. The ball's still not clear. It's anybody's guess. It's behind for a corner, and Millwall really are under severe pressure in the closing stages of this game. Barnard's corner, Agostino's header, it's inches wide, and with that may have gone City's last chance. He's had a few in the air, Agostino. He's enjoyed considerable success at meeting the ball. He just hasn't been able to deliver it into the back of the net.
They took the lead through a spectacular strike by Martin Kuhl on the stroke of half-time. But his rugby-inspired celebrations, culminating in a debagging, proved rather premature. Swansea forced a replay at Ashton Gate a week tomorrow. The winners will be at home to St Albans.